Am I audible to all of you? Just write in the chat box. Okay. So I am sharing my today's presentation slide. So today we will going to start the second part of Unit 2, and that is supply analysis. We already completed demand analysis in the last class, and now we are going to study the supply analysis. So first we come across the definition of supply. So basically the supply is the quantity of a good which is offered for sale at a given price at a particular time. So this is the definition of supply. So the amount of a product that firms are able and willing to offer for sale is called the quantity supplied. So this is the definition of supply. Now moving to the next slide. Now supply is a desired flow, and it measures how much firms are willing to sell and not how much they actually sell. So it basically measures the company or the firm how much they are willing to sell and not how much they actually sell. So it is to be remembered that the firm may not supply the entire amount of a commodity that they produce per period of time. So supply may exceed or fall short of production because within a particular period of time the company cannot sell the entire product what is supplied by them. So that's why the supply may exceed or fall short of production. So supply in a particular year is the total production plus minus stocks of the commodity. So in a particular year, this is by this way we can calculate the supply within a given year. It is the total production plus minus the stock of the commodity. So by using this, we calculate the supply in a particular year of that commodity. So moving to the next slide. So now comes an important concept of supply analysis, and it is supply function. So the functional relationship between the quantities of commodities supplied and various determinants are known as the supply function. So it is the mathematical expression of the relationship between supply and factors that affect the ability and willingness of the producer to offer the product. As we already discussed in the demand analysis, the demand function. So in a similar way, in the supply analysis, we have the supply function. So the relationship may exist between two or more number of variables. So this is the definition of supply function, and in the next slide we are going to see what are the important constituents in the supply function. So moving to the next slide. So mathematically, the supply function can be expressed as, so this is the mathematical expression of supply function. So as you can see on the left hand side, it's SH. So SH is the supply of a commodity or oblique good X. So it is determined by using the right hand side function. and that function is dependent on many factors. As you can see here in on the right hand side, there are many factors available. So first is px. So px denotes the own price of good x. Then the second factor is PA subscript PC. Just a minute, some other students are waiting in the lobby, so I'm just allowing them. Okay. So the second factor is PA to PC, and it denotes the prices of related goods. So whatever the commodity X we are going to supply, then the PA and PC denotes the related goods which are substituent of the good X. So the prices of related goods are denoted by PA to PC. Then the third factor is from PL to PO, and it denotes the prices of inputs. Then the fourth factor is, which is denoted by capital T, is denoted by the time. Then the fifth factor is ST, S subscript T. So it denotes the state of technology. So what technology we are going to adopt in supplying the commodity. It is denoted by ST. Then the sixth factor is capital O, and it denotes the objectives of the firm. So there are various objectives of the firm. In some firms are more prone to for the profit making, and some firms are more prone to the supply of their product just for the mankind. Then the seventh factor is denoted by capital G. So it denotes the taxes, subsidies, and regulations by the government. So that's why it is denoted by capital G. So the supply function is basically dependent on 7 factors, and these are the 7 factors with their description. So let us see each of these factors one by one in the later slides. So just remember this mathematical supply function expression. So moving to the next slide. Now comes the determinant of supply. So supply of a commodity depends not only on the price of that commodity, but also on other factors. So the other factors we already discussed in the previous slide. The 7 factors on which the supply of the commodity price dependent. This is the pictorial representation of that mathematical expression, and it is said as the determinants of supply. As you can see in the middle, a circle has been drawn, and here supply is written, and surrounded that 7 rectangles are drawn, and each are given different factors of the supply function, as we already discussed in the previous slide. Like the state of the technology ST, then the time is denoted by then the price of input, which is denoted by PL to PO. So these are all shown in this diagram, and it is also known as the determinants of supply. So let us discuss each of these determinants in the next slide one by one. So moving to the next slide. Now the first factor or the first determinant is own price. So which is denoted by PX, because we are going we are doing X commodity. So firstly, the most important factor that influences the supply of a commodity is its own price, and the relationship between supply and own price is a direct one. So as you can see, the relationship between the supply of the commodity X and its price is a direct relationship. Then the second factor is the prices of related goods. as we shown in the mathematical expression by from PA to PC. So, secondly, supply of any commodity largely depends not only on its own price of the commodity, but also on the prices of its substitute and complementary goods also. So, if market price of wheat rises, the jute farmer would be interested in wheat production so that in the next season they can increase the supply of wheat. So as the market is dependent on uh, the profit making, so in this example, as the price of wheat rises, in the future the farmers are much more interested in producing the wheat. So that's why the supply of wheat can increase, and the farmer can earn more profit in the future. So this is the second factor, the prices of the related goods. As the price of wheat increases, then the wheat, then the farmers will going to produce wheat in the future. So this is the second determinant. So next comes the third determinant. So moving to the next slide. The third determinant is prices of inputs. So it is denoted by from PL to PO. So thirdly, prices of input is also an important determinant of supply. If the price of an input, say wage bills, rises, the cost of production will surely rises. So as the input prices rises, then the cost of production also rises. So consequently, the profit will tend to decline because the cost of production is increases. Then the profit, then the profit, as the profit is inversely proportional to it, so the profit will decline. So seeing an unprofitable situation, a firm will reduce the supply of a commodity because because it is an unprofitable situation. That's why the firm will reduce the supply of that commodity and will try to switch over to the production of another commodity. So which is still not unprofitable, means which is still profitable. So that's how the company will relate to the supply function of prices of inputs. So this is the third determinant of supply. So moving to the next slide. Then the fourth determinant of supply is time, which is denoted by capital T. So fourthly, in the short run, usually the supply of a commodity, mainly perishable goods. So perishable goods means the goods which can be decayed after some time. So in Hindi we can say that the items जो खराब हो जाते हैं टाइम के साथ, that items are called as the perishable goods. So is unresponsive to the price change, but in the long run the supply of a commodity tends to be more flexible or fluctuating in response to the changing situation. So as the time changes, the unperishable goods are not affected by the time, but the perishable goods are affected by the time because they can decay as the time passes. So for non-reproducible goods, the supply becomes highly inelastic. So one can now suggest that the supply of a commodity also depends on its nature. So, for example, the supply of non-perishable goods means the products which are not affected by the time are called as the non-perishable goods, responds more than the perishable goods when their prices change. So, by the with the determinant, with the time determinant, the supply is also affected on the case in the cases of perishable goods and non-perishable goods. So now comes the next determinant, which is the fifth determinant, and it is denoted by ST, and its name is the state of art or the technology has an important bearing on the supply of a commodity. As newer and modern technologies are employed in a concern, production and productivity rise, and average cost of production tends to decline because we are using newer and modern technology. So the production and productivity will rise, and the average cost of production tend to decline. So this result in a change in quantity supplied because we are producing much more quantity of a commodity in that specific time with the use of modern technology. So this is the fifth determinant of supply. So moving to the next slide. Now the sixth objective is firm's objective is the sixth determinant of supply. So the nature of firm's objective also affects the supply decision. So firms can have different goals. Usually profit maximization is the most fundamental objective of a firm because every firm needs profit. So profit maximization is the most fundamental objective of a firm. So modern business firms aim at maximization of sales revenue rather than profit. So the supply of a commodity under these two broad objectives. So first is the profit maximization and the second is the maximization of sales revenue. So under these two broad objectives is likely to be different because the firm's objective can be different. So thus the supply of a commodity depends on the goals or objectives of a firm. So changes in these objectives of the firm will lead to a change in quantity supplied. So as it is obvious that whatever be the objective of a company, the supply of that company or that firm will depend on those objectives. So this is the sixth determinant of supply. Now moving to the next slide. Now the last determinant, the seventh determinant of supply is government policy, which is denoted by capital G. So finally, by imposing taxes on firms, the government can affect the supply of a commodity. The government may ask business firms to pay taxes for polluting the atmosphere or for meeting government services on education, health, etc. sectors. So as these taxes increases cost, so firm reduces supplies. So basically these taxes are imposed on the firms. So as these taxes are increases by the government, so the firm reduces supply. So similarly, subsidies may be given to firms so that they can produce goods needed by the society. So these subsidies are given by the government to the firms or the companies. So often new firms are encouraged to produce some goods, example software, by giving subsidies to these goods or by reducing taxes. So government can give subsidies to the companies in order to produce more goods in certain sectors. So in sectors like IT industry, where software making is more predominant, then the government is encouraging the firms to produce much more real-time softwares. So that's why they are giving subsidies to the IT industry. So and in other sectors also. So further, the government may use its regulatory devices For example, like industrial licensing to control the activities of business firms. So this affects supply. So basically, the government policy is an important determinant uh, on which the supply of a company or firm depends. So these are the seven important determinants of supply, and it is being we can express it in a mathematical form, as we already discussed in our previous slides. So all of you understand it till now? Just write in the chat box so that we can move to the next topic. Just write in the chat box. Okay. Now the next topic is elasticity of supply. In the demand analysis topic, we already discussed the elasticity of demand. So in a similar way, we have the concept of elasticity of supply. So the law of supply indicates the direction of change. If prices go up, the supply will increase, but how much supply will rise in response to an increase in price cannot be known from the law of supply. So this question can be answered with the elasticity of supply. So to quantify such change, we require the concept of elasticity of supply. So that measures the extent of quantities supplied in response to the change in price. So this is basically the definition of elasticity of supply. So it can also be defined as elasticity of supply measures the degree of responsiveness of quantity supplied to a change in own price of the commodity. So this is the next definition of elasticity of supply. So it can also be defined as percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price. So as you can see from this definition, the third definition is it can be expressed in mathematically, because it can be defined as the percentage change in quantity divided by, you can use this word, divided by the percentage change in price. So moving to the next slide, just remember these words: percentage change in quantity supplied divided by percentage change in price. So we can express this sentence in mathematical form. So moving to the next slide. So it can be calculated as, you can see here, elasticity of supply is abbreviated as E subscript S, with percentage change in quantity supplied divided by, this is divided by percentage change in price. So it can be represented symbolically as percentage change in quantity, which is denoted by del Q upon Q. As we already know that it is a form of uh, determinants. Differentiation, like del Q divided by Q. So we can represent percentage change by using this del Q divided by Q. Then the percentage change in time with del P divided by P. So we can also express as del Q divided by del P, and then the real factors can be written as P by Q. So by this we can represent the elasticity of supply in a mathematical form. So as price and quantity, as you can see here, P and Q denotes the price and quantity respectively. So as price and quantity supplied in usual cases move in the same direction, so the coefficient of ES means the coefficient of elasticity. The coefficient of ES is positive. So as the P and Q moving in the same direction, so it means they are denoting the positive quantity. Then the ES will also show the positive sign. So by using this method, we can represent the elasticity of supply in a mathematical form. So just remember this, how you can represent the elasticity of supply in a mathematical form. So moving to the next slide. Now the next topic is types of elasticity of supply. So for all the commodities, the value of ES cannot be uniform. For some commodities, the value may be greater than or less than 1. So there are 5 cases of elasticity of supply. So these are the 5 cases of elasticity of supply. So as you can see on your screen that case 1 denotes the elastic supply. So as it is elastic supply, so ES is greater than 1 here. On the second case, it is inelastic supply. In this case, ES is less than 1. Then in the third case, it is unit elasticity of supply. Here comes the word unit. So unit elasticity of supply, it is denoted as ES equal to 1 because it is unit elasticity of supply. Then in the fourth case, it is perfectly elastic supply. It means that sorry, ES is equal to infinity because it is perfectly elastic in nature. In the fifth case, it is perfectly inelastic. Means here no elasticity is there. So here the value of ES is 0. So just concentrate on these 5 cases for a minute and remember it. There are 5 cases and then their values dependent on the ES. So in all the 5 cases, there are different values of elasticity of supply. Now let us discuss each of these cases in detail in the next slides. So moving to the next slide. Now in the case 1, we have elastic supply. It means ES value is greater than 1. So supply is said to be elastic when a given percentage change in price leads to a larger change in the quantity supplied. So here we have in the graph, as you can see here, the y-axis denotes the price, the x-axis denotes the quantity. So in this case, the given percentage change in price leads to large change in quantity supplied. Here you can see on the price axis, initially we have P and on the price axis, and on the quantity axis we have Q. But later on, the P will be replaced with or increases to P1, and the quantity is increases to Q1. So as you can see from this graph that the quantity of P1 increased from P is just small as compared to the change on the quantity axis. As you can see here on the quantity axis, the change of Q1 from Q is larger than the change from P1 to Q. to P. As you can see here, this change occur, but here from P to P1, this a small changes occur. So that's what is written in this line. The supply is said to be elastic when a given percentage change in price, this percentage change from P to P1 leads to a larger change in quantity supplied. A small percentage change in price leads to larger percentage change in the quantity. As you can see here, from it changes from Q to Q1. So this type of change is considered as the elastic supply. So here, so under this situation, the numerical value of ES will be greater than 1, but less than infinity. Just remember that in this situation, ES value is greater than 1, but less than infinity. So from the figure, you can see here that SS1 curve. As you can see this line, the S1 line. As you can see here, this line. SS1 curve of figure exhibit elastic supply. So here quantity supplied changes by a larger magnitude than the price. As you can see here, the quantity change from Q to Q1, which is larger than the price change from P to P1. So this can also be written in this form, as you can see in the table. Del Q divided by del P is greater than 1 because percentage change in quantity is greater than percentage change in price. So it can also be written in this form. As we already discussed in the previous slide, the mathematical representation of elasticity of demand, or sorry, elasticity of supply. So this is the case 1, which is known as elastic supply. Here ES is greater than 1. Now moving to the next case, which is case 2. So the case 2 is inelastic supply. So it means here ES is less than 1. So supply is said to be inelastic when a given percentage change in price causes a smaller change in the quantity supplied. So as you can see from the figure that a given percentage change in price from P to P1, it causes a smaller percentage change from Q to Q1. So here you can see that the change in price is greater than the change in the quantity. So this is smaller. So that's why its name is inelastic supply. So here the numerical value of elasticity of supply is greater than 0 but less than 1. So this SS1 curve, as you can see here, this curve, SS1 curve, this curve. As you can see here, this curve, SS1 curve, here the elasticity of supply is less than 1. So where the quantity supplied changes a smaller percentage than the price. So this can also be written as del Q divided by del P is less than 1 because percentage change in quantity is less than percentage change in price. So that's why its name is inelastic supply, and here ES is less than 0. So this is second case. Now comes the third case. Now the third case is unit elasticity of supply. So here the value of ES is equal to 1 because here we are dealing with unit elasticity. So if price and quantity supplied change by the same magnitude, means percentage Q and percentage P. Here you can see a percentage P and percentage Q is equal to 1 as it is changes by the same magnitude. Then we have unit elasticity of supply. So any straight line supply curve passing through the origin. So this is very important point here. For unit elasticity of supply, it passes through the origin. As you can see here, this line passes through this origin, this 0 0. It passes through this origin. such as one shown in the figure, has elasticity of supply equal to 1. So here percentage change in quantity is equal to percentage change in price. So this is the case 3 of elasticity of supply. Here ES equal to 1. Now comes case 4. Now the case 4 is perfectly elastic supply. So as its name said that perfectly elastic, it means that ES is ES equal to infinity. That's why its name is perfectly elastic. So the numerical value of elasticity of supply in exceptional cases may reach up to infinity. So here remember the word in exceptional cases. So the supply curve PS1. So here you can see from the diagram this line, the PS1 line. The supply curve PS1 drawn in the figure has elasticity of supply equal to infinity. So here this line has elasticity of supply equal to infinity. So here the supply curve has been drawn parallel to the horizontal axis. So always this line can be drawn parallel to the horizontal axis, means the axis which is denoted by the quantity. So the economic interpretation of this supply curve is that an unlimited quantity will be offered for sale at price OP. So here at this point the price is OP. You can see here in the diagram, if price slightly drops below OP, so nothing will be supplied. So it means that the price is stick to OP, means a price is strictly to the P point. And if we drop the price from that point, then nothing will be supplied. So that's why its name is perfectly elastic supply. Here ES equal to infinity. So this is the fourth case of elasticity of supply. Now comes the fifth and the final case, which is perfectly inelastic supply. So as its name suggests that perfectly inelastic, it means that elasticity term is 0, means ES is equal to 0. So another extreme will be is completely or perfectly inelastic supply, or it can also be called as zero elasticity. So QS1 curve drawn in the figure, as you can see this line QS1 illustrate the case of zero elasticity. So it represent the case of ES equal to 0, means zero elasticity case. So this curve describes that whatever the price of the commodity, it may even be 0. Quantity supplied remains unchanged at OQ. So means the quantity supplied cannot be dependent on the price. So price can be greater or price can be increased or can be decreased. It has no effect in the supply of the quantity. So this sort of supply curve is conceived when we consider the supply curve of land from the viewpoint of a country or the whole or the world as a whole. So this is the example of perfectly inelastic supply. So this concludes the 5 cases of elasticity of supply. So that is all for supply analysis topic. So thank you very much, and it concludes the second part of the unit 2, which is supply analysis. So all of you understand it? Just write in the chat box. So unit 2 is finished here, and the two important topics comes under the unit 2 are demand analysis and the supply analysis. Okay, so I am uploading the recording of this video lecture on the college YouTube channel. So thank you very much. Now you can leave this meeting.